You've been lied to about mental health. You think it's about being fearless or being born different or waking up at 4 a.m. and screaming into the mirror like a psycho. But if you read Can't Hurt Me, you already know that's not the full story. David Goggins didn't just tough it out, he built himself out of nothing. And the truth is, you don't need to be him to do the same. But you do need to stop lying to yourself. People act like Goggins was just born with some superhuman gene. But they forget that he was overweight, very overweight, and abused, had a learning disability. He was bullied, ignored, beaten down by life and people. That man didn't start with discipline, he started with pain. And what he figured out was this: you can't wait for motivation, you can't wait to feel ready. You have to decide, and then you start doing the things you said you would every single day, even when it sucks, especially when it sucks. There's a concept in the book that really wrecked me when I first read it, and that is the 40% rule. Goggins says that when your mind tells you you're done, you're actually 40% done. That means most people live their entire life 60% sleeping. They quit when things get hard, when it burns, when it's awkward, but they don't realize that they had way more in them. And that should bother you, because if you're living at 40%, how much potential are you wasting? Be honest. Something else he talks about is the accountability mirror. We've seen some motivational poster bullshit. It's fully just raw. So you stand in front of a mirror and say, here's who I am, here's what I said I would do, and here's where I'm lying to myself. And that's the part people avoid. They'll post a story about grinding, but they won't sit with their own truth. He made himself confront the ugliest parts of who he was, and instead of hiding, he used it as fuel. You want to change your life? Start being brutally honest about where you're soft. Not on social media, but in the mirror, when it's only you who's watching. Most people have no idea what a callus is. It's what happens when your hand adapts to pain. But Goggins took that and flipped it into a mindset. Callousing the mind, meaning you deliberately go through the discomfort. So your mind stops reacting like a little kid every time life punches you in the mouth. Cold showers, running when you don't feel like it, speaking up when you're scared. And it's not about punishing yourself, it's about building armor on purpose. That way, when real shit hits the fan, you're already tested. Let's get one thing straight. You don't need to be Goggins. You don't need to run 100 miles or do 4,000 pull-ups, but you do need a standard. One that you set, one that you enforce. Because right now, most people are living with none. Wake up when they feel like it, quit when it gets hard, and avoids responsibility. Then they wonder why they hate their life. Goggins didn't build a better life by chance. He forced himself to raise his standard until it became his new normal. That's what changes people. And the truth is, every single one of us has that switch. Most just never flip it. He once said something that really stuck with me. Most people waste their entire lives chasing comfort, but comfort never changes you. I think that's his quote, if I remember correctly. And no matter. So, read that again. We all want a better life, a better body, more focus, more peace. But we try to bypass the process. We want the mindset without the pain. But there's no shortcut, and Goggins made that painfully clear. If you want to own your life, you're gonna have to bleed for it a little, or a lot. It depends where you're at right now. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. Maybe even spiritually, who knows? And you don't need to become unbreakable by accident. You become unbreakable because you stop making excuses. Because you stop blaming your past, blaming others. Because you decide, I'm done living at 40%. You don't need to be David Goggins. You just need to stop lying to yourself about what you're capable of. You have no idea what you're capable of. The pain will come either way. You either suffer in growth right now or rot in regret, suffer later. So choose your pain, and maybe it's time you looked in the mirror and said, can't hurt me.